Hello, good afternoon, listeners. It's me, Suleiman Ben Sware. If you just bear me a minute, let me share this video and we can start the program. Okay, thank you very much. I will try and keep this program brief, straight to the point. What the program's about is trying to remind people that the case reference that a Senegalese businessman, who I call a corn artist, is taking a Gambian socialite, Isa Fathi, to the courts, demanding millions of dollars be returned and properties be returned to him after their relationship soured. And why I am following this case, and people who have followed my programs and my write-ups have realized how much time I spend in this case. I'll give a background of this case again before going into details. But the interest for me in this case is not the personal life of Isa or any other personal thing about it. It's about exposing the corruption that our police services are. Just to show you how corrupt the system is. That's why we are where we are today. Crime is not being fought, nothing else done because of the senior police, most of the senior police officers, but as we can even say, because the IE is highly involved in what is happening in that country, in corruption. That's why we're here. I came across this case through investigating Ablai Cham, who is the Senegalese national, who came out putting himself forward as an entrepreneur who wants to build a five-star hotel later called the Radisson Blue Hotel, OIC Hotel. And from the minute I saw them signing $100 million deal, US dollar deal for building a hotel, I knew it was a scam. And I did a due diligence and I advocated against it. I said this was a scam, it's not going to happen. It went on. It went on until, in fact, it got worse. When I saw the government defy a court order to seize a land from a charity organization and giving it to this person, I knew it's a con artist, because I've made a programs on this. I've checked his background, did a due diligence on him. How he did business in Senegal, where he's indicted by audit reports and by courts and everything else. And when this happened, this is when another Gambian lady was victimized, who is representing the charity organization in the Gambia, Nena Freda Gomez. And we did a campaign at that time. And it was then a police officer, senior police officer, who was aware of this investigation going on Isa Fati, which was actually being engineered by Ablai Cham. I was contacted to say, look, actually this guy you're talking about is doing more damage, because I was really surprised that the police went on to enforce an order which was illegal. The police went on to enforce an order against the court, which was illegal. This was where the discussion came out, and this police officer said, look, you have to look into this. When I got that information from the police officer, I did my due diligence, again, investigation. What did because the allegations were so serious, I contacted very senior officers in the police force to inquire about this investigation, which something I did. I hardly do. I wrote to them to establish a paper trail because I knew I was going to come out hard on them. I wrote to them coming out with a paper trail. They responded by calling me to say that they were authorized to speak to me about this case. And when they spoke to me and we finished the discussion, I went to them to say, look, this is clearly that you people are dealing with an issue which should be a civil matter. And I did not believe anything that you people said that, oh, there's a criminal element in this. I believe what my source, who was a police officer who knew about this investigation, told me, that you guys are working with Ablai Cham. You are doing this on behalf of Ablai Cham to try to recover properties that he have gifted to a girlfriend that refused to marry him. I said, this is the story I had. I did another thing which I hardly do is I went and contacted someone to help me have a contact with Aisha Fati. And I said to Aisha, look, I'm not interested in your private life. I am only interested in this case to establish facts on how the police have proceeded and what's going on, because of this is a serious allegations. I said, because I am already following this person to try to find out his background, try to find out the damage he's doing to our country. Already, the person, Ablai Cham, is involved in this, in our country. Now, I want to establish other things, and your name came out with this, and Aisha gave a version of her story. And we collaborated, what the other investigation officer told me. This is how I took the case, the story and came on social media to advocate against it. Now, the the process of this case, what actually happened here, which I'm going to go into detail later, is as we have seen the summons. Let me read what the summons is, what Ablai Cham have claimed. Let me see, where is it again? Oh, just a minute, I've just shared it with someone. I need to find that person. Okay, I'm going to read from the Standard newspaper. Said that one Ablai Cham, a Senegalese businessman, who I refer to as a con artist, resident in Dakar, has filed a civil suit against Aisha Fati, a Gambian socialite, before the High Court in Banjul. According to statement of claim, Ablai Cham was introduced to Aisha Fati in Dakar by one Mariam Diaw, a Senegalese lady, where upon they began a good relationship. And this is exactly what Aisha told me to. Sometime later, according to suit, Ablai Cham and Aisha began a relationship, and he proposed to marry her, and soon began preparation for their marriage. The statement of claim further alleged that ahead of proposed marriage, the two flew to Dubai together, where the plaintiff, Ablai Cham, spent $100,000 for their wedding preparation. They also went to Paris, France, where Ablai Cham claimed he spent another 100,000 euros for designer bags and watches. A further $50,000 was given to Aisha Fati to buy African clothes from Nigeria, according to the statement of claim. The statement also disclosed that since their proposed wedding, Ablai has been giving Aisha the sum of 180,000 Dalasis every month for her maintenance. But according to the statement, despite all the preparation and expenses made by Ablai in anticipation of their marriage to Aisha, his anticipated marriage to Aisha, she failed or refused to go ahead with the marriage, which was scheduled for December 2021. The plaintiff, Ablai Cham, also alleged in suit that a sum of €150,000 was given to Isa Fati for the construction of a three-story building, building complex in the Gambia, whilst another sum of 19,500,000 was also Dalasi was also given to her for the purpose of purchasing a villa in Fajar waterfront. Ablai Cham is also claiming the sum of 822,000 million CFA, which he alleged was extended in the purchase of gold given to Isa for business. The plaintiff is further seeking a declaration that he is the bona fide owner of a black Mercedes-Benz with the registration number and another alternatives or alternative. Let me just read it. The plaintiff is further seeking a declaration that he is the bona fide owner of the black Mercedes-Benz GLE 63 Brav Boss with registration number BJL 422 W, or in the alternative the sum of 200,000 euros being the value of the car. He also seek a court declaration that he is the bona fide owner of a white Mercedes-Benz GLE 53 car with registration number BJL 09999W, or in alternative the sum of $102,000 being value of the car. The statement of claim disclosed that Isa refused to go ahead with the proposed marriage, has caused the plaintiff great financial loss and embarrassment within the family, colleagues and friends who were duly invited to their marriage. It says Ablai is psychologically troubled by Isa's alleged disappointment and will continue to suffer financial loss and reputation damage if the issue are not resolved in his favor. The Inspector General of Police is also included in the suit because the car are currently under the custody of the police. The court have reliable informed to our report that IGP have been served with the hearing notice, while Isa Fati has still not received the hearing notice. I don't know why. Now, this is what Mr. Cham is claiming. Now, what actually happened here? When Mr. Cham wanted to get this money, or claim money and goods and whatever it is, because of, as he claimed and Isa claimed, they are no more in a relationship. Instead, Mr. Cham went to the Inspector General of Police. And the Inspector General of Police instructed the Serious Crime Unit, headed by Palu Jawar, to concord, to institute a criminal investigation, claiming that Isa is involved, or they got report, claiming that they got report from external agencies following some Nigerians and other these things who are doing 419 money laundering business, and Isa was named among the people involved. This is what they lied about. The police went and invented a case. Instead of coming, saying to Mr. Chandler, look, this is a civil matter, go to the courts. And I'll come to a point here. This is what they lied. They sent the police to go and harass Isa. They went and took the cars, freeze his bank account and every passport, and to the police statements, and started investigating. They investigated trying to link Isa to a non-entity crime that have happened and money laundering. Knowing that is a lie. They knew, by now they already knew this complaint is coming from Ablai Cham, and they knew it's a civil matter. Secondly, they went on to accuse Isa that Isa have nude photo, photo or videos of Ablai Cham that he's using to extort money from Ablai Cham. That too was a lie. They fabricated that lie too. This was the line of investigations, and I'm going to prove this. It's all a lie. And this was the same thing the police told me, and I said them, this is a lie. It doesn't add up. I said, I think you guys are bringing this, your service into disrepute. They said, oh no, we are doing money laundering. I said, no. Because the police, I said, you guys know and I know. We all know many people in that country, and you know who are involved in money laundering, who are involved in serious crimes and corruption and everything. Have you ever constitution any? Name me one case. None. I put it to them. And in fact, in that discussion, that senior police officer said, look, with your knowledge of what is happening, we can work together, help. I said, look, I don't even have faith in you, the person I know. I know you personally, but I don't have faith in you. I don't have faith in your institution. I will fight against crime, but not people who are acting, with criminals. I said, you guys knew that if any money laundering happened, it's Ablai Cham who's the money launderer. If any criminal case happened here, it's Ablai Cham who should be followed. But they pretended. The first instant they pretended as they don't know about Ablai Cham. I said, no, you know about Ablai Cham. I said, the IEP have met Ablai Cham 3 times, twice in Dakar. I said, twice in Dakar, when this case was going on. I said, when the Ablai Cham reported this case, IGP went to Dakar and met Ablai Cham twice in Dakar. And the interesting thing is, even the apartment Ablai Cham is using in Dakar, it's not his. He's renting it. This is the so-called people they call to be millionaires or what. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a property in Dakar, but the one he's operating from in Dakar, the apartment I know of, the address I got, he's not the owner. He's renting. He's renting from that apartment. He's a con artist. But this is what the police did. And went and constitute criminal investigation. Then leading to this, then what happened is they went into the investigation, continued investigation for months. Almost 10 months. They knew they were lying. Isa knew they were lying. Isa had to take a lawyer to take this case to court, to sue the police to court. The police, again, let me tell you something here. The police with the justice ministry, the entire criminal justice system connived. The justice ministry knew that the police were lying. They connived to send an affidavit to defend the case in court. Why? Let me put it this way. Ablai Cham is a friend to the First Lady. The First Lady called Ablai Cham, Fatuma Babaro, called Ablai Cham father. He goes around to beg money from Ablai Cham. I have this evidence as well. People who knows about it. There was this occasion, in fact, they have to meet at a point, not even in a hotel, or he goes to meet Ablai in his hotel, but this time if they even met somewhere in the open, and Ablai have to pass money on to him. He calls him daddy. Ablai Cham was introduced to Barrow by Macky Sall. Ablai Cham worked with Macky Sall, and Macky Sall's son doing fraud cases in Senegal. That's how he got this thing. The vehicles, he gifted vehicles to Macky Sall, and both vehicles caught fire. One in Chess, Tiwawan, the other at the gates of the State House in Dakar. And 2 vehicles were gifted to Barrow. I am not sure, even that Barrow's vehicle that caught fire a few months ago, whether that was one of them or not, but he gifted 2 vehicles to Barrow as well. This is the person we're dealing with. Now, they went and took this court case. Let me get to something here. They took the court case, and Isa took the police to the courts. Both the Justice Ministry and who advised the government, the police, they had sworn affidavit. Pa Ali Jawara went to the courts to defend that affidavit, and I am going to I wrote a post dealing with that affidavit to prove that the affidavit was sworn based on lies. That's perjury. That's perjury. The police knowing, going to court, swearing that they're going to tell the truth, and they lied. It's perjury. Now it's proven now Ablaye Cham is coming out of the woodworks. And if I go through this narrative, you'll understand exactly why Ablaye Cham come out now. And what the police have said in courts, and my respondent, because of the knowledge I have from my investigation, which the police have already known. I first, the article was part 2, the IGP versus Gambia Socialite. I said the exposure of the facts surrounding the Inspector General of Police using the power entrusted to the institution to abuse the rights of citizens, especially in the interest of a foreign national, should be interest to every Gambian citizen. In my previous article, I have shared my motivation for pursuing this case. I outlined the circumstances surrounding the investigation on how a foreign national with support from the executive is influencing the police to abuse the rights of a private citizen, undermining the rule of law and the due process by interfering in a civil case and acting illegally to establish a criminal investigation in the matter. This was my opening of the article. I went on to say, after I spoke to 3 senior police officers who are familiar with the case during my inquiries, I got convinced that the police would do the right thing and distance themselves from the civil matter and close the investigation if the police did not find any criminal liability. I was shocked to learn that the police were still carrying on with the case to the extent of appearing at a court to defend the case. This is what transpired. Now, in the case, police asked court to dismiss Aisha Fati application to get back her vehicles from an iPhones. Now, this is what I'm going to read what they put in the affidavit and my response to that affidavit. 1. The Deputy Commissioner of Police, Pa Aliu Jawara, filed an affidavit in court asking the court to refuse Aisha Fati application. Aisha filed a court summons to order the Inspector General of Police to return her 2 Mercedes-Benz and 2 iPhone Pro Max taken from her by IGP as claimed. I said, hey, after 10 months since the investigation commenced, the accused brought the case to trial, forcing the hands of the police to appear in court to defend a summons by presenting a false affidavit to the court, protecting Mr. Ablaye Cham. The police pretended to the court that they are conducting an independent criminal investigation. Instead, they are acting as an agent of a politician in civil matters. The case is a bit reminiscent of Matar Sall versus A.G. Chambers. People who understand Matar Sall versus A.G. Chambers will know what I'm talking about. Now, after 10 months, the young lady took the case to the court. After 10 months, the police said they were investigating matters, and they came to the court to defend this. And they lied to the court with an affidavit that they are investigating a criminal matter. They knew it's a lie, it's a civil matter. Let's go on. 2. Again, this is what they put in their affidavit. Jawara said he was informed by Senior State Counsel El Jaju, who is handling this matter. The police and the Attorney General are the competent authorities to enforcement of an Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Act of 2012 and other penal legislation, including the Criminal Procedure Code and the Police Act. You see, this is how they involve the Justice Ministry. The entire criminal justice system was just corrupted by one person, a Senegalese national, due to the influence of politicians, that's the executive, the president, and the wife. I said this was my response. No dispute in the fact stated above. It is interesting to note the police have never had an interest in using their authority to pursue and investigate overnight millionaires or corrupt public officers accused of serious corruption. They never used this law, as this law did not exist. We knew the overnight millionaires in that country. We knew public officers who are billionaires right now in the Gambia. Have you ever had this police use any of these articles of law to try to investigate them? No. I'll tell you something. There is someone called Pablo. Pablo, right now in the Gambia. The drug epidemic in that country, one of the people responsible is called Pablo. He's a Guinea-Bissau national. He bought a property at the waterfront, Faya waterfront. He have other properties in the Gambia. He's got speedboats. You know, if anyone, he's from Guinea-Bissau, he got speedboats. He bought an expensive property costing over $150,000, Faya beachfront. He is going to restaurants, spending, going to clubs spending. He buying boots, club boots, spending $60,000 a night. If the drug law enforcement officers, the police tells you that they don't know about Pablo, and they don't know that Pablo is involved in importing cocaine into our country. Pablo is involved in money laundering and, in fact, investing in businesses in the Gambia, real estate business, partnering other Gambians in their clubs, investing in clubs, in restaurants and real estate business. Pablo is not hiding. He is even giving the name Pablo as Pablo Escobar. That's how rampant corruption is and how ineffective our law enforcement officers are. But they will go and choose what to do because of there's a foreign agent, foreign entity who is linked to State House. And the same Pablo is indirectly linked to State House. The same Pablo is dealing with people who are directly connected to State House. That's why Pablo is not arrested. Pablo will not be investigated. I gave this information here, and any Gambian go and find out whether the name Pablo doesn't exist, a Guinea-Bissau national living at the beachfront, even having speedboats. Do you know what those speedboats are for? To go in the Atlantic to get the drugs out. That's why all the drugs found in that country would never be prosecuted. Only time prosecuted, the low-level Gambians would be arrested and prosecuted for those drugs. But you will never, just as Banta was living, I think it's the same complex. Banta Keita was living in the same complex. They are all connected. But you never hear arrest on this. But they will tell you, oh, because of this law, we went for Isa Fati. Apart from this case, I don't know Isa. I don't associate with Isa. I have nothing to do with Isa. And it's not about Isa. It's about this corruption I am exposing. Let's move on. I continue to say, I first said, no dispute in the fact stated above. Yeah, the police have the rights, the AG chambers have the rights and powers to do that. It is interesting to note that the police have never had an interest in using their authority to pursue or investigate over 9 millionaires or corrupt public officers. Public officers accused of serious corruption. The only time the police financial intelligence unit take an interest in launching an investigation of people, it's under the instruction or influence of the executive, as it was in the case of Alaji Conte, the former UDP financier. The minute Mr. Conte reconciled with President Barrow, his case got dropped. If I am wrong, let the police publish the data on how many money laundering cases they have investigated. They would never do that. They only do it when the executive asks. And I cited a case of Alaji Conte when his accounts were frozen before elections. But when he went with his tail round his legs and begged President Barrow what happened, did you hear about that case anymore? I tell you, Alaji Conte, as far as I knew recently, he is now having millions of dollars of contracts from NAWEC through the powers of executive from Barrow. Do you know why? Because of his paying kickbacks to Barrow. That's why he's silent, sir. He's paying kickbacks to Barrow. That's why the corruption is. That's why Barrow will come and tell of the National Audit Office, because of he's the most corrupt individual in that country. Anything linked to corruption and drug trafficking, you can trace it back to State House through intermediaries. Let me emphasize, through intermediaries. Just as you have Syllabus Samates, you have Banta Ketas, you have this Pablo and others, they have intermediaries that connect to State House. And you have others. It's just nasty even to think about. That's how much they reduce our country. Let me continue here. Number 3. Palu Jawara said, sometime in April 2002, the Inspector General of Police received intelligence information bordering on all cross-border crime syndicate in the Gambia. The IGP assessed the intelligence information and found merit in the same. That's a lie. That's a lie. Palu lied. The police lied about this. Let me come to it. My answer is this. All senior police officers I spoke to familiar with this case agree that the statement on Pa Alieu Jawara's affidavit is false. Ablai Cham influenced the investigation, and the IGP did not receive intelligence from an internal or external agency about Aisha Fati. Can the police tell the public who else is under investigation regarding the said intelligence received? If he said cross-border intelligence, how can they just target one lady? Who else is involved? Did they arrest anyone else? Did they investigate? That was a lie. It's all because of Ablai Cham. Asked them to do that, and Ablai Cham corrupted them. That's how much our country is reduced to. This is what our country is reduced to. You know the reason though, which I might mention later. You see, Aisha have the money to take lawyers to fight for herself. Do we know how many other Gambians are victimized by these police services for their corruption, intimidated and victimized, and they don't have a voice? Go to mile 2 Remind and see how many Gambians youths are castrated there for furious charges. Spending years. Some people are spending 10 years not trying due to this corrupt criminal justice system. They spend time, resources, and energy protecting criminals, working for criminals, rather than to safeguard us. That's the reason why that country is not safe. That's the reason the country is not safe. They are not using resources where they're supposed to use. They are entitled. Go and audit them. Go and audit them, see how much properties they have. Go and audit them, how the lifestyle they have with the salary they received. That's why the country is not safe. The country is not safe because of the corruption. It continued. Pa Alieu Jawara said the transnational organized crime involved 15 foreign nationals, including Nigerians, who were arrested and investigated. During the investigation of those foreign nationals, Aisha Fati's name was mentioned. As a result, she was invited for questioning to determine the extent of her involvement in the case under investigation. That's a lie. Let them produce the 15. Did they take those 15 to court? Let them produce them. How can you invent something and link it to someone innocent? Why if Aisha was mentioned and they have that evidence, why did they not charge Aisha for criminal this thing and take her to court? They know it's a lie. They were pressurizing the young lady on behalf of Cham to reclaim something Cham gave her. It's none of her business. It's none of the business of the state. That was a lie. They fabricated, this thing. And that's a perjury. The police should be summoned for that. The police should be summoned for that. Let's move on. I said, this is my response to that point. When I interviewed Aisha Fati, she refuted the claims of IGP linking her to any transnational organized crime. She said that the police swiftly moved away from that line of inquiry, questioning, when she challenged them to produce the evidence. Aisha told me this, that he challenged them to produce the evidence that I am mentioned. They moved away from that. Guess this. Then, challenge them to produce the evidence, swiftly move away from that line of questioning when she challenged them to produce the evidence. Where are those 15 suspects the police investigated? What happened to them? Did the police find any links to Aisha Fati? Were there any charges brought against the syndicate? Period. If the police say that they arrested 15 Nigerians linked to this thing, Aisha was mentioned, where are they? What happened to them? Are they charged? If they're not charged, why they're not charged? Why Aisha is not charged? It was a concocted lie. Now, if police officers, the entire institution of the police, go to court, lie on an affidavit against a citizen, supported by the Justice Ministry, we Gambian will be safe. You see, when we look at these cases, we don't look at the individual. We look at the merit of the crime. This is a crime against any Gambian. If it happened to Aisha, it happened to others. And at least Aisha have the means, influence, and money to fight. And many Gambians are incarcerated or they lose their properties because they cannot fight. Let's move on. 5. Pa Ali Jawara said Aisha Fati refused to honor the let me see. Yeah. Pa Ali Jawara said Aisha Fati refused to honor the invitation, and as a result of her deliberate refusal to answer to civility and a genuine police call, a team of officers was dispatched to her residence to invite her to the police headquarters for questioning. Jawara said their investigation revealed that these foreign nationals front the businesswoman in their transnational organized crime syndicate to launder proceeds of crime in the Gambia and the region. You see the lie again. Now Ablai Cham have come out to claim that she gave the money for that gold business. You see, a lie again. If Pa Ali Jawara said that their investigation proved that the business the lady was running, it was sponsored from proceeds of crime, why the lady was not charged? Why are those people not charged? You see, if the police can brazenly go before a judge and lie on a sworn affidavit, do we realize how serious that is? Police to go before a court of law to lie, a sworn affidavit to lie, fabricate a lie. Now, why did they not arrest Aisha? Why did not charge Aisha? Why did not charge the syndicate? It's a lie. It's fabricated. And the claim made by Cham now have proven it. And we'll come to that. My response is, did the police establish any link between Aisha Fati or other businesswomen and the criminal syndicate in their transnational organized crime? Who are the businesswomen? Why is Aisha Fati still not charged with a crime? Is the above statement an attempt by the police to muddle the waters in their quest to cover up their track of interfering in a civil matter? That's all it was about. That's what all it was about. They fabricated this case in order to cover themselves that they are involved in a civil matter. This was my response. Now, six, Pa Ali Jawara said Aisha Fati and Ablai were never arrested but were only invited for questioning in connection to a crime case that is currently under investigation. He added that the phone were taken for forensic examination as part of the subject of the inquiry. Okay, this Ablai is I don't want to bring him in, but it's mentioned here, is a partner to Aisha. It's another Ablai. It's different from Ablai Cham, just to make it clear for people. Now, Pa Ali Jawara said that Aisha was never arrested. The same person said that Aisha refused to answer and they sent a police officer to go and get Aisha. If a police officer, if you refuse to answer to a civil court and a police officer go and get you, is that an arrest? Would that not constitute an arrest? No, if this is not serious, you will be a laughing matter. Does not that constitute an arrest? He said that, Aisha was called, invited civilly. She refused. Because Aisha knew it was a civil matter. Nothing to do with the police. But we sent despite police to go and get her. Is still that not arrest? But no, they said they were not arrested. Now, they're trying to soften to say that, look, no, we are not trampling with their rights. We just invite them for investigation. Let's listen to the further down the line. My response to that is, the investigation has gone on for 10 months and they still could not establish a link between her and the crime. If the case was that serious, Aisha or any accomplice would have been arrested. Now, even if they are not arrested, why is the case still pending after 10 months? They cannot establish the facts after 10 months with all the allegations they made as facts. They put the allegations as facts in the affidavit. Let's move on. I continue to say, Aisha Fati did not mention. Aisha Fati did mention that Mr. Cham is the person that determined the investigations and is in control what the police do. Aisha did tell them that I know that this is nothing to do with crime. This is to do with my ex-partner Ablacha. Aisha did make it to the police know that she knows that, look, this is nothing to do with a crime been committed. No, this is actually to do with my relationship that broke up with Ablacha. Let's move on. I'll prove the rest. She stated that Mr. Cham did not want to proceed to trial, but instead he was using the police to force her to negotiate their relationship, which he was not interested in doing. Actually, initially, Aisha said to me, initially when the police were involved, Mr. Cham was still at the behind her begging. Oh, I did not want this to go to court. I just want us to get back together. When we, a grown-up man, shogging. I just want us, all this haram money, if you get it, that's how you spend it. Begging the young girl, no, I just want to take you back. If I take you back, the police will let off this investigation. This is what Aisha told me. This is what Aisha told me. That Cham was begging that when the investigation going, if you take me back, the police will drop this investigation. Aisha said no. Aisha have reasons to say no. Now, if a man can give that much and a woman still don't want you, there's something else there. Now, Pa Ali Jawara explained further that Aisha and Ablai were separately interviewed for investigation purposes, and it was done in accordance with law enforcement operation standard of criminal investigation. He's saying that Aisha was interviewed separately with the boyfriend. Not this Ablai Cham, the other Ablai. He said the current boyfriend of Aisha. He said the two were never denied access to their relatives or lawyers, and a relative to Aisha, Mr. Benjamin Roberts, and his wife Fatou Fati, a sister of Aisha, were present. Does it make it different? Jawara said Aisha was never detained beyond. He's saying he was never detained beyond 24 hours, but she was detained. How can you detain someone and not arrest them? He said that Aisha was not arrested. But now he's contradicting this by saying that Aisha was not detained beyond 24 hours. What that means in English, as I understand, is Aisha was detained but not up to 24 hours. Because if you detain them over 24 hours, 72 hours, you have to charge them. That's a lie. Now, he said before 24 hours under the custody of the first respondent. He said Ablai was never under the custody of the police, and this continued presence within the premises of the police was voluntary. He's saying that the present boyfriend of Aisha was never detained and was free to go, but he chose to stay within the premises. But Aisha was detained. Now the same person turned around to say that Aisha was not arrested. Who's lying here? Who is lying here? Let's move on. It become more clear for what our police services represent. That's why before you jump and take a word of these police services or this government, be very careful. Just be very careful. They are the same people that had the Ajami. It's the same mindset. They are all into what they can get for themselves, to build houses, to marry wives, or to upgrade their husbands and do things. That's all they're after, not to serve the people. Not to serve the people. Then my response was here. This seems to contradict number 6, where Jawara said that Aisha Fati and Ablai were never arrested. Then what do you call the police in questioning them separately for hours? How can you question them for hours without being arrested? If they were free to go, they will go. But you seize their property. How can you seize their property without arresting them? Number 8. Pali Jawara said their investigation revealed that Aisha Fati owes a fleet of expensive and luxurious vehicles and had more than $20 million in her bank account. He said the IGP requested the Director of Financial Intelligence Unit of the Gambia Police Force to block the bank accounts, and the same was done. He added that the IGP seized and detained the vehicles based on reasonable suspicion that the cars were fraudulently obtained outside the Gambia by Isa Fati. The vehicles were sent to Isa by one Ablai Cham, a Senegalese national. You see, now they're trapping themselves. Now they're trapping themselves. He's saying that fraudulently, and now saying that the car was given to Isa by a Senegalese national, Ablai Cham. How did they establish that? How did they establish that? Now, this is my response. The police already knew that Mr. Cham gave the cars to Isa Fati because Mr. Cham specifically laid a claim to recovering the vehicle, which led to the police investigation. They already know the source of the vehicles. Now, it's proven. Mr. Cham coming out. But I'll tell you what forced Mr. Cham to come out. My other response is this. I understand that Mr. Cham transferred a large part of the money into Isa's account. I made this allegation before Mr. Cham. Now, Mr. Cham have come and proved that, claiming that most of the money he claimed must be part of the 20 million that the police found in Isa's account. Then the money did not come from anywhere else. No crime syndicate. If any crime syndicate is Mr. Cham, if anybody have committed a crime, is Mr. Cham. Did Isa knowingly know that Mr. Cham have stolen the money? I don't think so. I don't think people give him money and said, Fokujele. You take it. And the police knew that they were lying, they were not investigating any other crime, they knew that Mr. Cham gave the money. I continue my response. It is not a the statement above is a I understand that Mr. Cham transferred a large part of the money into Isa's account. The statement above is a fabrication of the police to justify that they are conducting an independent investigation. It is not a crime to have assets and a large amount of money in one's account unless it can be linked to a criminal crime committed. It's not an offense to have assets and money in your account unless it's linked to a crime. The police did not link this to a crime. They invented a crime. The money was given by someone else, have nothing to do with the police. It's not the police business. Mr. Cham should have gone to the courts, but no, he knew that he was connected to the president, he was connected to the first lady, he was connected to the IGP because they already gave him a land, someone's charity or a charity foundation's land, they gave it to him. And I'll come to that land. Now he can do whatever he wants in the Gambia because he can buy them. The entire system. This is what it's all about. Mr. Cham, as a bona fide businessman with ties to the president, if they believe that a crime was committed to obtain these assets, why did they not invite Mr. Cham for questioning? I did not say he's a bona fide businessman. I say he's a scammer. But they take him as a bona fide businessman. That's why the government dealing with him. Now, if they knew that Mr. Cham have given money and the money is questionable, they should have charged Mr. Cham and invite him for investigation, but not to go and pick up Isa, investigating something that have nothing to do with them. Pa Aliu Jawara said, the black Mercedes-Benz GL635 bus through year 2021 purchased in the amount of 240,000 euros. It's interesting they got the figures right. From Germany, the white Mercedes-Benz GL53 in the year 2021 purchased in the amount of $95,000 from the USA was found in the process of Isa and believed to be stolen. You see, they said believed to be stolen. They know it's a lie. Because they're working for Ablai Cham. Ablai Cham told them, I want to recover these vehicles. They know it wasn't stolen. They went to court to lie to the court that they believe that this was stolen. They lie to the courts. Can you just believe this? And these are the same people who come to tell you that they are good Muslims. They will have the beard, they will have this thing on a Friday, they wear this. Good Muslims or good Christians. What are they? Or they tell you they're serving their country, they're patriotic, they are liars. They don't believe in nothing. They should be shame to their family. Shame to their wives and shame in their children. It's a shame. Let's move on. My response is this: the police have established that Mr. Cham gave the vehicles to Aisha Fati, as stated in a statement made further down this affidavit. Why is Mr. Cham still not traced as a suspect, like Aisha Fati have been treated as a suspect? I said, well, at the bottom of this affidavit, the police are in fact again saying that they knew that the vehicles are from Mr. Cham, but here they stated that they believe it was stolen. But before they come to court, even according to their own affidavit, they knew it was not stolen. Now, why still treating it as a stolen vehicle? No, they still did not want to accept the fact that they are doing something illegal. That's why they're coming to lie. They are interfering in a civil matter because of they've been induced from the people on top, the executive, and induced by Mr. Cham by giving them money. And giving them parks when they go to Dakar, places to live. You think that people don't know? You think people don't know? Let's go. Many government officers are going treatment in Dakar. When they go, Mr. Cham gave them places to live and probably pay for their medical. This is how, that's why you buy them with peanuts. You buy them with peanuts. And some, I don't even want to get to some of them what they get into. Let's leave that for that moment. And number 10, Palu Jawara said, those vehicles were believed to be purchased by Aisha Fati from proceeds of crime generated through transnational organized crime business schemes with foreign nationals. He said Fati could not explain the means of acquisition of the vehicles or produce a document from the car dealership in Germany and US evidencing that she bought them. Again, this is a lie. Down the affidavit, it's proven that Aisha have told them that Mr. Cham gave him the money, the vehicles. That Mr. Cham gave them the vehicles. Now, why are they lying again? Now, they're saying it's a stolen car. Now, they're saying, oh, it's bought from stolen proceeds of, organized crime. But they cannot, they did not prove. If you don't prove the crux that there's an existing organized crime, how can you tell it's from organized crime? You cannot just go and look at people building nice houses. We don't have that law in the Gambia. And go, oh, you have a nice house. We want to know where you get your money from. No, we don't have that law in the Gambia. Or if we have the law, they don't practice it. Then why is it selective? Let's move on. My response is the statement above got made redundant as the investigation have established that Mr. Cham is the person that provided the vehicle. There is no other suspect in line of inquiry as stated by the police in their affidavit below. If you go in the affidavit below, I say these people contradict themselves in the affidavit. The judgment of the case should be today. It's interesting. I think it should be today. Judgment of this case should be today. And it's interesting that Mr. Cham a few days ago went to the courts. And why going to the courts now? Do they preempt the judgment? Let's move on. 11. The police officer, Palu Jawara said, Aisha claimed that she bought the vehicles when she was asked to produce the document. She stated that it was her boyfriend, Ablai Cham, a Senegalese national, who purchased the cars for her. Didn't I say this? Aisha told them. Why come to court and repeat other things that are not relevant? They know where the money from. Why did they just not go to Mr. Cham? Because they already knew about Mr. Cham. They're working for Mr. Cham. They're not working for the state. This is nothing to do with them. But they don't want to tell the court this is nothing to do with us. We are interfering in a civil matter. We are even acting illegally. We are abusing the rule of law. We are abusing the rights of a Gambian citizen. They don't want to do that. Because of they've been bored. Pa Ali Jawara continued. He added that the police he added that the police reached out to Ablai Cham through Interpol in Senegal. He promised to produce the original documents from the car dealership. And up to date, the IGP is yet to receive these documents from the said Ablai Cham via Interpol Senegal. Now, again, they are saying that they spoke to Ablai Cham through Interpol. And Ablai Cham had admitted that he bought the vehicles. Now, where is the crime committed? Where is the crime they investigating? Why didn't they not go to Ablai Cham? And that's a lie. What happened is, this law enforcement officers entirely they're corrupt. In Senegal, Ablai Cham went through Interpol Senegal. Interpol Senegal contacted Gambia through Ablai Cham. Ablai Cham went through Interpol Senegal and froze the account of Aisha in Senegal. Did not thought this is not part of the affidavit, but I got it from my investigation. Mr. Cham froze the accounts to Interpol Senegal because Mr. Cham is the original complainant. There's no other complainant. The police are working with Mr. Cham on this, fabricating a criminal case where there's no criminal case. Now, even before Mr. Cham coming out now, I said it was clear here in the affidavit, the police were lying. They fabricated this story. Everything was civil. Now, the Mr. Cham has come out and vindicated me that everything was civil. Aisha did not need a lawyer to go to court for this. Aisha did not need a lawyer to go to court. It's plain and simple. But you need a lawyer to have that presence because they will ignore the facts. They were ignoring the facts in the police investigation because the investigators were called. That's why you need a lawyer to go to the courts to force the police hands to prove that they are fabricating, they are lying, they are corrupt. This is why I'm talking about this case. It's the corruption, not the civil matter. If it was only civil matter, I will have nothing to do with it. It's more than shame. This is how police officers are dealing with. All of these people are over 50 years old. They are closer to death or anything. And I'll tell you tomorrow they will be fasting and believing to be Muslims. They are closer to death than anything else. But no. And some of them have chronic, because we all know each other. They have chronic diseases, but still doesn't make them fear to do the right thing. It continues here. He said, Cham did not, still Cham did not contact them. I tell you the lie. They're not lying. Cham made the complaint. They have access to Cham, and I'll prove this. Senegal. He explained further that the IGP is still waiting on these documents from the Interpol Senegal, which is yet to receive these documents from the said Ablai Cham, who Aisha Fatih threatened to expose his nude photos if he did not cooperate with her. You see now, they move from the car now, they're saying that Aisha want to expose nude photos of Ablai Cham. Still now they have not produced those photos. This is another fabrication to try to make this case as a blackmail. Now they don't have any evidence of a criminal case being committed by Aisha dealing with Nigerians and others. And I think the Nigerian government should sue them, in fact, by using their national's name in order to tarnish their image. They lied about Nigerians. Now, okay, let's say that he got some photos that he's using to force Mr. Cham. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's invented. Now, they know, because I said they know they're dealing with Ablai Cham already. They know Ablai Cham. They know how to find Ablai Cham. There's nothing like Ablai Cham was not available. If they wanted to establish this case, Ablai Cham would have been available. And why, in fact, you cannot establish, look, it's simple. They cannot establish Aisha with any criminal enterprise outside the Gambia or wherever. Now it's established that, how did they come to this? Where are those Nigerians they said that dealing with Aisha? There's no Nigerians. Now they established that, if they didn't even know, they established now Aisha is dealing with a Senegalese ex-boyfriend. If Mr. Sam said to them, it's my vehicle, Mr. Sam would tell them, I gave it to Aisha. That's what Mr. Sam would say. Then case closed. Give Aisha the vehicle, let's go. Because there's no crime committed here. At that time, did they want to tell us Mr. Cham have reported a crime being committed? That's why they want to use these so-called nude photos. This is criminal at most. Let's move on. My response is this. Mr. Cham has visited the Gambia several times and has stayed for considerable amount of time within the police jurisdiction since the investigation started. I know that. Far. I know the hotels he stays. I know the restaurants he goes to. I know that when he visited State House, all these things, he's around in the country. He goes to Banjul, he goes to Serekunda, he stays, many places around this thing, the apartment he lives in, everything else. And the police know. Because anytime it's in the Gambia, the IGP knows about it. And many senior officers go and visit him. I know about that. They lie about that. They cannot get hold of Mr. Cham. This is how low our police go. They swear an affidavit, go to a court to lie against a Gambian sister, have a civil problem with a boyfriend, a Senegalese, because that boyfriend is connected to the president and the wife and have money. Now they have to take that side. What do they do to other Gambians then? What would they do to other Gambians? Why would you take the police word for anything? Now, I continue to say, one of the pieces of evidence of Mr. Cham visiting and staying in the Gambia was during the laying of the foundation stone, Saturday, the 23rd of July, 2022, for the 5 billion, 100 million OIC 5-star Radisson Hotel. That's evidence. Go and Google it. That day. And if you go and look at the videos and look at the pictures, Mr. Cham was kind of even signed away. It was only the cowies, what Mandinkas call cowie, the clowns, Ahmadba and others taking forefront, and all these people want to be taken forward, going to put the foundation stone, because Mr. Cham knows that he was running a scam. President Barrow and others putting the foundation, putting this nonsense. He knew he was running a scam. He was there. Probably the IGP was even there. The Minister of Justice was there. Many dignitaries were there. We watch it on TV. Mr. Cham was there days before. Mr. Cham was there that day. Mr. Cham was there days after. How did police not know? How did police not know? How did police not trace him? It's a lie. Mr. Cham was in the president's company with the entire cabinet ministers, and very likely the IGP Sanyang was also present. How did the police miss the opportunity to interview Mr. Cham? He was very visible in the media circles. The IGP wants Gambians to believe that they cannot trace a person they helped to repossess a multi-million-dollar property illegally by ignoring the court order, and that how that he now claimed to be developing. And do you know something about the property? In December, I went there December. I went to the property. I have a video of the property. Nothing. Not a single brick have been put. There's nothing like a hotel being built. They clear the land, and the same vehicle, the same diggers they have, the 3 diggers they have, and they have almost 5 PIU officers still stationed in the empty land. Doing white man, empty land. Why the 5 PIU officers guarding empty land? December, I said, last December. From July foundation laying to December, where's the hotel? He's a scammer. He's a scammer. He did the same thing in Senegal and other places. He's a scammer. We told you that he is a scammer. And he was there. How come they don't know about him? How come they cannot trace him? Let's move on. Mr. Partly Jawara said the IGP sought international cooperation via its Interpol counterparts in Senegal, whose response we are yet to receive. He added that Interpol in Senegal currently conducting investigation of this matter on behalf of the IGP to determine whether the vehicles were stolen and brought to the Gambia. He stressed that once they get the response from the Interpol Senegal, the IGP will do the needful. They are lying about international cooperation. Just imagine these people. These people are not professional. They go to court to lie that they are cooperating. The person you want to interview is within your jurisdiction. It's always in the Gambia. They're lying. It's always in contact with the IGP. I made that allegations. Let the IGP sue me. I prove it. And other officers for that matter, I'm not going to name now. They're lying. And the IGP knew that Abdullah Cham reported this matter to him, and this IGP reported the matter to Pa Ali Jawara. That's how they started this investigation. It was nothing to do with any international agency doing it. Gambia, this is the kind of police officers we have. And the Justice Department itself that supported this affidavit. I said, my response to that is the statement above is a continuation of the fabrication by the IGP, as proven by the comments above. Mr. Cham is not an elusive character. He is known to many senior officers, especially those concerned with this case. He has frequently been visiting the Gambia. It's both criminal and shameful that the IGP is tendering a false affidavit to the courts and undermining the rule of law and our criminal justice system. How can the IGP miss Mr. Cham visiting the Gambia when the police provided him with 24 hours round-the-clock security with a team of PIU personnel at the stolen property in Bijilo, the proposed OIC hotel that never get built? How can they lie about this? How can they lie about this? Let's move on. 13. Palu Jawara said investigation of transnational crimes of this nature take time because it requires international cooperation and collaboration. He added that Aisha Fati have no gainful employment and has not owned any legitimate business in the Gambia or elsewhere, which would have enabled her to acquire this amount of money and vehicle, which are the subject of this application. He explained that the offense being alleged against the IGP and Attorney General bordered on economic and security sabotage that strike at the very foundation of the Gambia well-being and existence. Now they're using the state to intimidate, they're using the state to blackmail, they're using the state to patronize. That's how criminal our police are. They lie, they're using about international cooperation and everything in the courts. Everything is a concocted lie. Whether I have a gainful employment or not is not our business. It's not the state business. Let the state go after all the allegations of corruption, and we see the evidence of their multi-million properties, their lifestyle and everything. And they themselves go and audit the IGP and see how much properties he have. And central bank officers, NRA officers, port officers, everybody else. Ahmad Ba and everybody else. President Barrow and everybody else. But let me come to this. My response here. The IGP should stop abusing power vested in him and undermining the due process of investigation, knowing that an influential jittered lover is instigating the entire inquiry to settle the score with a former girlfriend. Didn't I get that right? Did what Abdullah Cham have put on that summons? Is he not a jilted lover trying to get back to the girlfriend? And up to before this case gone on, Abdullah Cham was still begging this young girl that, hey, just get me back, just take me back. I will drop the case. Because he was influencing the case. Just take me back, crying, begging the young girl. Shame. How Aisha Fati earned her money is not the state's business. Until the state can determine she linked to a crime enterprise, she should get treated as any other citizen. The police are fully aware that Mr. Cham gifted her the properties in her possession. If any crime is suspected, Mr. Cham should be the first suspect, not Aisha Fati. The money, where it come from, can be determined. Bank transfers can be determined for Mr. Cham. And Mr. Cham is laying claim now. Just expose the police officers for what they are. 14. Palu Jawara said the Gambia police have the power and mandate to seize and detain any property or assets linked to a commission of an offense for the investigation. He added that Senior Consul Jaju informed him that it is lawful and legal to seize the assets of Isafati in inquiry because there is a probable cause of material evidence that provided that she acquire the said assets from the proceeds of crime. But before effect, before effect is that you have to determine that you are investigating a crime. But you know that lying that you are investigating, you are not investigating a crime. This is a civil suit. You knew that there's no other complainant. There's no law. They lie about the law enforcement that reported international. They all concocted lies. They know the complainant is an ex-boyfriend. My dear, said this is nothing to do with us. But obviously, if you have State House calling you and you have this man giving you money, giving you a place to live in Senegal and other things, invite you to the restaurants, you do anything they want. That's how cheap they are. My response is, I wish the police were exercising these powers across the board. It would have helped minimize the level of corruption and serious crime. Again, the IGP is fully aware that they are fabricating a criminal investigation on behalf of foreign national Abdullah Cham to settle scores with his former lover. Again, what is the underlying crime here? Is this from a drug dealing? Is the money used to buy the car stolen? As you can see, any crime committed by Isafati will have to implicate Mr. Cham, and the police and Mr. Cham do not want that. Any crime you say Isa have committed would be receiving stolen goods, but you have to prove that Isa knowingly received something stolen. If Isa is presented by a chap that is dealing with the government, dealing with the president, dealing with the first lady, and been seen on the media saying that he's going to build $100 million property, coming to gift her, I would believe that this is a genuine businessman. Then you cannot prove that Isa knowingly that this man is a con artist or a thief. Then who else commit a crime here? Abdullah Cham. Pa Alu Jawara added that the continued detention of the vehicle for the investigation to determine the true nature and source of the cars is not unconstitutional. He stated that the public interest should be served if the status quo is preserved until the investigation is concluded and determined. He indicated that the IGP and AG chambers are preparing to enter into an undertaking to pay damages to Aisha Fati if she lost or have any damages. Why taking that? Your investigation should be conclusive by now. You should be able to determine this and take it to courts, if anything. But you're lying. That's why you don't have any evidence to take to courts. It's a civil matter. That's why now it's coming to the civil courts now. Rather too late. My response is this. If the police are to act in the public interest, they should either redirect their focus or discontinue the investigation, because this investigation is based on a false pretext. They should then reopen a proper investigation where Abdullah Cham will be the main suspect and Isa the conspirator. Further, if the IGP cares about the public interest, they should advise the executive to distance themselves from a potential criminal refusing to assist the police in a significant investigation. Once at it, they should consider the 24-hour round-the-clock security they provide him at the land he illegally occupied in Bijiro. Now, if the police say that they are doing to the public interest, they should redirect this investigation and say, look, in fact, this close, open a new one, Abdullah Cham should be on the dock. And to advise the AG chambers and AG chambers to advise the president, distant from this guy. And Gambia government need to review any contracts they have with this guy. And the police have to even say, look, our people cannot be associated with this guy. Our police should be out of that place. That should be the right in public interest, but they know they're lying. That's no public interest. Not a brick have been put down. It's a scam. He used the land and all these government photo ops trying to scam people around the world. That's what they do. How much did he make out of that? We don't know yet. And continue. Palu Jawara said Aisha and Ablai application was brought in most bad faith, and it is in the interest of justice the application being refused, as granting the same shame will prejudice the police and Attorney General. My final note is, I am glad that Aisha and Ablai had summoned the IGP to the courts to apply the rule of law and due process in finding redress for themselves. Without the legal action they took, the public would not be aware of this injustice, corruption and abuse of power being exercised by the IGP. Aisha did the right thing. The case exposed not only the bad conduct of the police, but it highlights the inequality, as the average Gambian would not be able to restore to taking legal actions against the IGP to fight for their rights or against injustice. This is my point here. Many Gambians are lose their properties. Many Gambians are in maltoo, some 10 years, 14 years. Not from my statement, go and look at the government statements. 4 years, 3 years, 2 years. Because they don't have the legal means to fight their case. Some folk been arrested from a little bit of jamba or other things, breaking and entering. And so I'm not justifying all these crimes, but they have to go through the due process. And justice delay is justice denied. This where the energy, if we have put our energy into the making justice work, would have been better. But look at where we put our resources and energy in working for a corrupt con artist. This is what we have. I continue to say also, it makes makes one wonder, if the IGP dare to abuse the rights of a privileged citizen, what happened to the case of average citizens who cannot afford a cost of hiring a lawyer? If the IGP can go against someone like Aisha who can hire a lawyer, what do you think of other Gambians? They will just abuse them. Gambia, this is the case. This is what happened. Now this Ablai Cham is still coming to the Gambia, but that land, go and check it out. I have the videos, I have the proof, I've been there. You have almost 5 to 7, I see almost 5 PIU officers with their weapons and everything, still guarding that big vast land. Nothing. Apart from a space being cleared, when they did the ceremony, those buildings taken off, and 3 diggers left there. That's nothing. And there's a shop, a corrugated shop there. There's nothing like an OIC project or anything. It was a scam. Now Ablai Cham is going out there with title deeds, with everything going down that this, and probably getting money from us. We told you that it was a lie, it's a scam, it's never happened, would never happen, and the government is mute about it. Thank you very much, guys. As I said, this issue, I did not go in it for Aisha. Not to do with this private life. But now, let the civil suit go to, and let Ablai Cham justify giving money and taking it from a lover. Let's see what contract they have. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.